Turning Point USA returning to Utah for the first time since Charlie Kirk's assassination and drawing in their largest ever tour crowd with more than 6,000 people.
Tonight, each of us certainly feels the weight of this loss. But what we don't do, what we refuse to do, is bow to despair.
Under the shadow of Charlie Kirk's killing, Turning Point USA returns to Utah for the first time, confronting questions of survival and direction. Supporters call it resilience. Critics see a fractured movement. What does this moment reveal about conservative youth politics and the future of Kirk's legacy? The Utah return. Why this event matters. Turning Point USA's return to Utah after the killing of Charlie Kirk holds symbolic weight. Utah has long been a testing ground for conservative youth activism, where debates on free speech, religious values, and political identity collide. The event is not just another rally, it is seen as a public trial of strength for the movement. By choosing Utah, leaders are sending a message that the organization is prepared to move forward, even without its founder. The state's universities provide a stage where generational divides in politics are visible, making it an ideal place to measure Turning Point's influence. The gathering also serves as a signal to donors, critics, and supporters that the group is determined to stay relevant and continue shaping the national conversation on conservative politics. The legacy of Charlie Kirk in conservative politics. Charlie Kirk built a reputation as one of the most influential conservative voices of his generation. Through Turning Point USA, he positioned himself as a central figure in the debate over college, campuses, and their role in shaping political identity. His legacy lies in connecting conservative messages with younger voters, often challenging mainstream narratives. Supporters viewed him as a visionary strategist, while critics accused him of fueling division. Regardless of perspective, his death created a vacuum in leadership that reshaped conservative organizing. Many credits Kirk with helping transform student activism into a nationwide political force that influenced elections and reshaped debates around free markets, cultural values, and national identity. Turning Point USA's direction without its founder. With Charlie Kirk gone, Turning Point USA faces the challenge of proving it can survive beyond one personality. The organization focuses on institutional strength, shifting attention to long-term programs, training, and structured leadership. Instead of relying on Kirk's sharp public presence, the movement is emphasizing grassroots networks and state chapters to sustain momentum. New faces are beginning to take visible roles, aiming to show that Turning Point is more than a single figure. The return to Utah demonstrates this strategy in action. A reminder that the cause continues even under new leadership. Observers note that the real test will be whether the group can adapt its message to a generation facing economic uncertainty and cultural change. Its direction now hinges on balancing loyalty to Kirk's vision with the need to evolve for the political battles ahead. Erika Kirk's role and emerging leadership. In the wake of her husband's death, Erika Kirk has stepped into a prominent position within Turning Point USA. While she does not aim to replace his role, her presence signals continuity and stability for supporters. Erika brings her own voice, shaped by experience in media, communications, and outreach, making her a natural fit for guiding the organization's image. Her leadership emphasizes unity and resilience, stressing that the movement is larger than any one figure. Observers note that her style differs from Charlie's confrontational approach, focusing instead on collaboration and building bridges within conservative networks. This shift could expand Turning Point's reach beyond college activism, appealing to broader audiences. Campus outreach and youth mobilization post-Kirk. Campus activism remains the heartbeat of Turning Point USA. Without Charlie Kirk, the challenge has been keeping energy alive among students and young voters. The Utah event highlights how the group is returning to its roots, using rallies, training, and debates to spark interest in free speech and conservative values. Younger leaders are taking on responsibilities once held by Kirk, proving that the movement's survival depends on new generations stepping forward. Critics argue that student enthusiasm may decline without Kirk's charisma, but early signs suggest the opposite. Many see his death as a call to action. Mobilizing youth remains central to the group's mission, and the Utah rally is designed to test whether Turning Point can still inspire attendance, loyalty, and activism on the very campuses that remain battlegrounds of American politics. Ongoing legal and political controversies. Turning Point USA has not escaped legal and political challenges, and those issues remain critical after Charlie Kirk's death. From disputes about funding transparency to controversies involving guest speakers and partnerships, the organization faces constant scrutiny. These cases shape how the public views the group and whether it can maintain credibility beyond its loyal base. In Utah, the movement's return is not only symbolic, but also a reminder of unresolved questions surrounding its operations and governance. Legal pressures may grow as critics push for greater accountability, while supporters see such challenges as politically motivated attempts to weaken the organization. How Turning Point navigates these disputes will play a role in defining its future. Supporters versus critics, divided reactions to the movement. Reactions to Turning Point USA's future are deeply divided. For supporters, the Utah return is a rallying cry, proof that the movement can survive tragedy and continue shaping youth politics. They view Charlie Kirk's death as a moment that strengthens loyalty and determination. Critics, however, see the organization as weakened, describing it as a movement built around one personality that cannot endure without him. They point to controversies, legal troubles, and a sometimes polarizing message as evidence that the group faces decline. Media coverage reflects this divide, with some outlets highlighting resilience while others question long-term relevance. This split mirrors broader cultural conflicts in the US, where conservative and progressive groups often clash most fiercely on campuses. Turning Point's return to Utah marks more than a rally, it signals a test of strength without Charlie Kirk. Whether the movement thrives or fractures will shape the next chapter of conservative youth. Politics in America. One thing is certain, the fight for influence is far from over. Thanks for watching.